Myself, Salah Al-Khawaja, and as I mentioned a bit earlier, our team was hard at work to try and get us voices from Palestine after we woke up to the devastating news, the breaking developments from Gaza, where Israel has resumed large-scale military strikes, shattering that fragile ceasefire that had been in place since January. At least more than 200 Palestinians have been killed in an overnight attack, and according to Gaza's health ministry, with reports indicating that many of the victims were children. The escalation follows weeks of stalled negotiations between Israel and Hamas, with both sides blaming each other for the collapse of the truce. And as airstrikes rain down across Gaza, questions loom over the fate of the remaining hostages, the role of international mediators, and how this genocide is, continued, is let to continue unabated, and this humanitarian toll that has weighed down the people of Gaza for almost 15 months now. And what does this renewed offensive mean for the people of Palestine overall? And will the global community respond in any kind to this latest surge in violence? And to help us unpack these developments, we're joined by Palestinian political activist Salah Al-Khawaja, who will provide us an update about the on-the-ground situation out in Palestine. He's currently there, and it will be interesting just to hear from him what is the latest on that ground, and also just to touch briefly on the negotiations that have stalled for such a long time, which has resulted to, again, the genocidal state of Israel breaking ceasefire agreements, and murdering and continue to kill hundreds and hundreds of Palestinian children, men and women. Assalamu alaikum, Salah. Thank you so much for joining us. Even though it's under very, very difficult circumstances, we appreciate you giving us your time. Salah, are you able to hear me? All right. We seem to be having a bit of difficulty when it comes to our connection with Salah Al-Khawaja. He's a political analyst out in Palestine. There seems to be no sound that is receiving on my end. Our technical team will try and, fix it in whatever way that we can. But I think the situation is mainly because of a connection. You can only imagine, with the situation being what it is in Palestine, there's going to be those difficulties. We're trying to get, eyes and ears on the ground to give us the latest on what's happening on that front. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll try and maybe get him telephonically so that we hear firsthand what's happening on the ground in Palestine, in Gaza, because I think this is essentially what, the aggressors want. They don't want any kind of eyes and ears on the ground of people telling us what's really happening. Salah, can you hear me? Assalamu alaikum, Salah. Can you hear me? Brother Salah, are you able to hear me? Is there any sound coming from my side? All right. We are going to continue to try and get hold of him. I think it's understandable. The circumstances that we find ourselves in are quite, unique. Naturally, you'd want to get those first-hand accounts, and we're going to try as hard as we can. And our technical team will be working on it after the short break, even if it means getting him telephonically, as long as we can get, those first-hand accounts, and we're able to let the world know what's happening in Gaza. So after the short break, we'll continue trying to get hold of our Palestinian political activist, Salah Al-Khawaja, who's currently in Palestine, and will give us the latest on that front. After more than 300 Palestinians, including women and children, were killed overnight during Apartheid Israel's overnight, shelling and killing of the people of Palestine. So we'll take a quick break. We'll be with you after this.
Salah Media live from our headquarters in South Africa. This is Salah Media, keeping you company this Ramadan.
will be part of the history that during the difficult time that we face, the only country and community stand with us is South Africa and its people. Alhamdulillah, we would like to say thanks a million to everyone standing. You see, let Trump and his people say what he would like to say. At the end, we are the owner of the land, you see, and this is our land, and let him plan, let him do what he would like to do, but at the end, we are the decision makers, we are the owners of this land. He's speaking theoretically, but practically, there is very strong linkages between the soils and the people there and the land. Yeah, we are aware about all these plans to evacuate or to take the people of Gaza out, so it will be like empty, but at the end, this is part of our religion, this is part of our aqidah, this is part of our blood, so no one can like release us and evacuate the Gazan people from their land.
Durban-based Palestinian PhD student, and he is Abdul Rahman
Salam
Shah.
Media, a global voice for humanity.
When the perfect blend of stylish decor, exquisite halal cuisine, and warm hospitality come together, it could only mean Al Bayt Lodge, your true home away from home. Al Bayt is the ideal heaven for families, business people, and tourists with its 4-star family rooms and other luxurious facilities. Conveniently situated close to Port Elizabeth Airport, the beach, and other amenities, your stay will be truly unforgettable, as you'll be taking home lasting memories of the warm hospitality, the serenity and tranquility that Al Bayt has to offer. For reservations, call 041 583 6415 or visit www.albaytlodge.co.za.
You are listening to Salam Media live from our headquarters in South Africa. This is Salam Media, keeping you company this Ramadan.
Welcome back. You're still tuned in to Salam Media in this hour of news and views, proudly sponsored by Africa Muslims Agency. Africa Muslims Agency, a beacon of hope to communities in Africa and beyond. And with that being said, we're going to continue to try and get the latest coming out of Gaza. We've been struggling a bit to get hold of a Palestinian political analyst, and I think we might have some success. We're trying to speak to him via telephone, and hopefully we'll be able to get some insight on what happened in the night where almost 300 Palestinians, including children, have been confirmed dead after Apartheid Israel ended the ceasefire agreements in Gaza. And we'll be hearing more from that front from political activist Salah Al-Khawaja, who'll be providing us with an update. He's currently in Palestine himself. Assalamu alaikum, Salah. Jazakallah so much for joining us. I hope you're well. Can you hear me? Am I loud enough?
Yes, alaikum assalam. Thanks for your continue to make this interview with the difficult connect between us.
No, I think, we just have to work under the circumstances, because if we give up, then the world doesn't have, the true story. It doesn't get, the lived realities of the people of Palestine, of the people of Gaza, and what they are currently going through. But if you can just give us a quick update on what's happening on the ground in Palestine following these latest attacks. What have you been gathering from those in Gaza?
The update, this is the strategic for the government, the terrorist government for the Israeli, and Netanyahu and Smotrich and Ben Gvir. The main strategy with him, how we can to kill more people of the Palestinian people in Gaza and the West Bank, and how much, can to put a lot of power with him, terrorist power, to transfer everybody of the Palestinian people in Gaza and the West Bank. What happened yesterday, it's the main strategy for Netanyahu. Netanyahu is make politica for the international, for the discussion in Egypt and for the prisoners and for the parties of the Israeli. Netanyahu he want to see Netanyahu. He not see anything. He want to be free to not go to the because he's with a lot of problem with him inside the Israeli, and the government and the Israeli government, he want to open every time it's a new page, how we can to kill the Palestinian people, how we can to transfer all the Palestinian people. Every day the Israeli kills the people in West Bank and in Gaza. Now all the people he thinks Netanyahu share for the discussion because of the war in Gaza, and he sent a lot of message for the media. He opened the discussion, but the Palestinians resistant. He's not need to stop the war because he's not free for the prisoner. But he's not see. We have around 11,000 Palestinians in the prison of the Israeli. A lot of them sons and children and women. But Trump and Israeli, he see just for who's in the Palestinian, the prisoners and the Palestinian people, not to see the Palestinian people in the prison of the Israeli, and he's not see how much damage the life and to kill the life in Gaza. It's now around 55 area percent of the area of Gaza. We cannot to be there at safety. We haven't water, we haven't healthy, we haven't anything, we haven't food, we haven't anything for the people. For this reason, now the Israeli want to punish more to the Palestinians in Gaza, and he's made like big siege for Gaza to anything giving to Gaza. And what happened yesterday, it's the same strategic for Netanyahu, because he wants to keep the government with him, with Smotrich and Ben Gvir, and to retain Ben Gvir in the government. He needs to take him one reason why he wants to return to government, how we can to work unit in the government, because now we have a lot of a program for Netanyahu inside the Israel. The first one, the court of the Israeli, now he's want to said we have 3 files for the Netanyahu, because he's like a thief. He takes the money for himself in different things, and he's not any leader like him, because he wants just to work for Netanyahu personality in the Israeli. For this reason, he wants to return to war to Gaza, and he's open to attack the camps of Palestinians like the Jenin camps and Nur Shams and Tul Karim and Tul Karim camps, and he's attacked before 3 months. Every day he kills people in West Bank, in the camps of the West Bank, and he's damaged the homes of the people, and he transferred the people of the home with him in the West Bank. It's in the same idea, the strategy in West Bank and Gaza. Israel, the government of the Israeli, and especially Netanyahu, he wants to kill the life, the hopes for the Palestinians. He's not need anyone with him, any hopes, any life, any reason to be happy in Gaza and West Bank.
And before this, Israel had obviously blocked vital aid and resources from entering Gaza, and also refused to release hostages or end that blockade. Can we now say that this recent escalation is a clear sign that Israel is back at war, and there's no room for another phase, second phase negotiations of the ceasefire? Do you think there's still space for that, or what happened in the last few hours only proves that Israel is not ready to sit on the negotiating table anymore, and to discuss any kind of ceasefire agreement with anyone. This is back to what we've seen after the 7th of October the previous year.
The Israeli now in the Gaza, we haven't any resources. Not just we haven't home, we haven't tent to stay in the home or to sleep under the tent. The Israeli, he closed everything for the people in Gaza. Now he wants to send send message for the people in Gaza. The main message: we cannot be. We haven't life in Gaza, and anyone he cannot. Anyone he know. Now Trump, he want to support Netanyahu for everything. You see Trump every time, every day. We have a message and after new message and after in the media all the time. We have 3 or 4 messages in 1 hour. But the main strategic now for Trump and Netanyahu, we work together how to attack the Palestinian people in Gaza, how we can to attack for the people who's against the Israeli and who want to be free in Palestinians. He said who want to be free, who want to stay under the occupation. Just this is the message for Netanyahu and Trump. Now we haven't anything can to do in Gaza. Yesterday, tonight is shot a lot of the a lot of bomb in the homes, and everywhere, in every places, in hospital, in schools, in camps, in every area in Gaza, because he want to send the message: we haven't life in Gaza. The other things now, the families of the prisoner of the Israeli who's been in Gaza with Al-Muqawama, now he said Netanyahu want to kill everybody, the Israeli and the Palestinians, because he now all the family wait how we can to stop the war in Gaza and return the prisoner of him in the family inside 1948 for the settlements and the settlers of the Israeli. But now Netanyahu, he want to continue. He want to continue because to save the unit of the government with him. He not listen for everything. He not listen for the blood for anyone. And this is the life of the Netanyahu. Because he yesterday when he's been in the court of the Israeli and he listened what the in the court said with him, the head of the court said he want to open the file and to talking what in the file doing for Netanyahu. Netanyahu in the same time, one of the person on the office with him, give him a paper and he sit in the court in security paper because to make reason to not continue in the court. Netanyahu, he make politica for everyone inside Israel, in the international, in the Palestinians, because the main strategy how we can to continue to be leader in the government of the Israel and to not go to new election in this year, and just he want to keep himself in the government.
And I think it's quite obvious that this is happening during the month of Ramadan. Do you think the Israeli genocidal forces did this on purpose? Even the blockade on certain necessities, like food and water, the blockade on those to be happening during the month of Ramadan was done on purpose. And how difficult has that made Ramadan to be for the people of Palestine? Or how challenging has this month, which is supposed to be auspicious, is supposed to be a very holy month, a month filled with reflection and very, very spiritual month, how more difficult has it made it for the people of Palestine?
You know, the Ramadan, you cannot eat and to drink 10 hours. And after 10 hours tonight, you go with your family to eat, to drink, to do something what you need, or to cooking what you need. But in Gaza, Ramadan, 24 hours. We haven't anything to eat. We haven't food. We haven't water. We haven't clearly water. Everything is difficult. We cannot see how the family, the children, when he is wait tonight to sit with them, Allahu Akbar, because the Palestinians to eat. We haven't eat for the home. We haven't anything. He's يعني كان to يعني like who's anyone just to drink small water or something because to be life, not anything, not we have another thing. All the life is very difficult. The life in Gaza, anyone can to speak like stories. It's more any stories we can to sit in the world. This is the terrorists and Nazia and Sadia. What we do, Netanyahu is make more Sadia and Nazia in Gaza and the West Bank.
Brother Salah, can you hear me? Are you still on air?
In what?
Yes. We just lost you for a moment there. But before I let you go, is there fears from the people of Gaza? Is there an uncertainty that things might go back to how they were after the 7th of October? We saw when there was that ceasefire announcement, there was much jubilation. People were optimistic that maybe, this year, 2025, might be a bit better compared to what was happening the previous year. Is there a sense of fear that things might go back to square zero to how they were after October 7th? Well, what's the mood? What's the sense like amongst the people of Palestine and the people of Gaza? All right. We seem to have lost Salah Al-Khawaja there. He's a Palestine-based political activist. We're trying to get hold of him, trying to reach him again, because I think, as you might understand, the network, the situation, the connectivity really makes it a bit hard, a bit difficult for us to be able to reach the people of Gaza and the people of Palestine, because essentially that's what the Israeli genocidal machine wants. That they want, complete silence. They don't want the eyes and ears of the world to see essentially this genocide unfold. But we're going to try as much as we can. Our technical team is trying as hard as they can. Our production team is trying as hard as they can. We're trying to get hold of almost every Palestinian and every person from Gaza that we know to be able to give us the latest on what's happening there, because this is really, although expected, it wasn't unprecedented, because there's supposed to be ceasefire negotiations going on right now, but the Israeli genocidal machine, I think, as expected, going on this rampage, killing more than 300 Palestinians, mostly being women and children. And I'm getting word from my technical producer, Abdul Salam, that we can't reach Brother Salah anymore, Salah Al-Khawaja. So I think throughout the day, we're going to try as much as we can to get voices out of Gaza, out of Palestine. There are fears that their colleagues, people that we know, people that we've interacted with, people that have communicated with us and, were the first responders when we would give them a call, so that they could give us the latest out of Gaza. There's looming fears that those people might have also also died after yesterday's bombardment, because we've called so many of them, and their phones are off. It's either the phones just ring and ring and ring and there's no answer, or it's just, direct voicemail. So you can imagine just how traumatic it is for the team also, because we interact with the people from Gaza on almost a daily basis, trying to touch base, trying to get the latest, trying to understand and get those first-hand experiences on what they're currently going through, especially right now during the month of Ramadan. So it's quite concerning. But we're going to end this interview here for now. But I'm pretty sure as the day continues, we'll continue to try and give you the latest out of Gaza and to get you those voices that are essentially right now surviving a genocide. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, news and views continues after this.